Inside Options is brought to you by the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Manage your risks with Safex style options.
Hello and welcome to Inside Options. I'm James Boardman. Today we're going for gold, literally. Joining me to talk about all aspects of trading the shiny yellow metal is Wesley Martins, a commodities trader from Absa Capital. So Wesley, what are your views on gold at the moment?
Well, gold seems to be on quite a bull run. Every time we see pullbacks, plenty of buyers coming into the market. We saw South Korea buying 20 tons of gold last month.
20 tons?
Yeah.
So, one party?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of official buying coming into the market, which has definitely buoyed the price.
Wasn't that a central bank, that 20 tons?
Yes.
Which central bank was it?
South Korea.
South Korea, okay.
And from time to time we see other central banks coming into the market over the years, and that's definitely helped the gold price up. I think we've seen a lot of risk aversion in the market, people not knowing where to put their money. With the US downgrade of treasuries, a lot of people fleeing to safe havens, which gold is typically one of. So that's just helped the price. Every time we've seen it come off a little bit, there's been plenty of buyers. It does seem to be a quite a run, and it's very hard to sell this commodity at this stage.
At the moment, do you think it could be in a bubble yet?
At the end of the day, before we see more certainty come to the market in the form of US economy, the European economy, I don't think we're going to see a strong sell-off in gold just for the moment. The safe haven status of gold is definitely going to help it going further.
It's fascinating about gold. I went to a presentation the other day. It's this barbarous relic. And that's the misquote, is what Keynes, that's John Maynard Keynes, said it was a barbarous relic. Not a barbarous relic. The gold standard was a barbarous relic from sort of back in the day. But since time immemorial, we just had this weird fascination with gold. What do you think explains this complete infatuation with it? Why do we not bury platinum in the ground, but we bury gold in the ground and think we're safe?
Yeah, it's gold's always been a store of value. It doesn't tarnish, doesn't rust. As you say, from time immemorial, the value of people's wealth has been stored in gold. At the end of the day, gold can't be downgraded. It's a firm, strong metal that basically can't be destroyed through corrosion and so forth. And it's a traditional store of wealth. And I think, with the turmoil that's going on in the world, it will continue to have its luster.
Yeah. What are some of the different ways people can invest in gold in the South African marketplace? Let's say you're a South African investor. I want to get some exposure to gold. What can I do?
First off, has always been the traditional approach of buying Kruger Rands. That gives you direct exposure to gold in the form of actually physically owning the metal. In the last few years, other instruments have been made available in the form of New Gold ETF, which trades on the JSE. That has been a tremendously successful fund. The underlying gold is stored in Brinks in London, and that share is underwritten by that physical gold. Okay. We've seen that fund grow to the extent of 50 tons. We've come off a little bit with a bit of profit taking. We've seen in the last few weeks, but we're still sitting with 56 tons in that. That's almost 1.5 million ounces. It's quite a sizable fund.
So, what's the price of that at the moment? That New Gold ETF?
That essentially follows the rand gold price. Okay. There is a fund.
So basically, are you buying 1 ounce of gold in there?
Or? The share that trades is actually represented by 1 ounce of gold, but it is a fraction thereof.
Okay.
And that's due to the management fee that comes off every year. There's a small nominal fee that comes off to cover the storage costs and insurance costs of holding that underlying physical metal.
So how does that rand gold price work, the conversion from sort of gold into dollars into rand?
Well, essentially it's a multiplier of the underlying gold. multiplied by the rand, with the forward points, in the case of the ETF, that is essentially the price of the ETF, multiplied by the fraction that is now the case in the form of the management fees that have come off over the years. The other instrument that has been listed on the JSE is the futures. Now, the futures are more direct form in the sense that it's a one-to-one. However, those are forward prices of gold that are listed, let's say, to December, and you have then the forward price of that commodity. That is derived by the spot price of gold and the spot price of rand, grown out by the gold forward price and the rand forward points.
So that's trading a gold futures contract.
Correct.
Based on a US gold futures contract.
Correct. Yes.
And then that's linked, and you guys do a currency hedge that then brings that back to rand here.
Yeah. So we offer a bid offer on the screen. Once that gets traded on screen, my underlying hedge would be the gold in the US and the currency spot with the forward points. And I'd directly hedge that out, and that enables me to put a bid offer on the screen.
So how do you suggest investors manage this phenomenon of the rand and the gold moving inversely? That when one does well, the other sort of does less well?
Well, I suppose that works both ways. However, the product that are available are randized products. Due to exchange control and so forth, we don't have a lot of access to direct gold, dollar gold products. However, in rand terms, the availability is there. However, it also, there are benefits to it in the sense that it gives you a good rand hedge as well. Like we've seen in the last week where the rand devalued substantially, that the futures gold price as well as the new gold ETF are substantially increased in value.
Okay. So it's a hedge. That's another thing it can hedge is rand weakness.
Correct, most definitely. So, with time you've protected yourself against the rand in investing in that ETF or the futures, yeah.
And I mean, are you seeing more demand at the moment in this?
On the futures we see a lot more two-way flow because it's just as easy to sell it as to buy. You don't have to own the underlying before selling that commodity. So if you have a view where the market is going to go down, it's quite easy to sell that instrument and you get margined on a daily basis. Okay. It is a derivative. On the ETF, over the last year with prices being fairly sideways in rand gold terms, we haven't seen a lot of activity. However, in the last week we saw quite a few redemptions and people taking profit with the higher prices that we saw. And that was directly as a result of the weaker rand that we saw those spikes in prices. Yeah.
We'll be right back after this break.